everybody. It's again Wednesday, and it's the last Wednesday of September already. So next month we start regionals, and we've got a pretty tight schedule. We had a meeting early this morning, and the numbers have now closed because for the very first time we have run out of challenge sets, and so it has never happened before ever, with the number of teams entering into the regional competitions has exceeded all our best estimates, and we are very, very overwhelmed, actually, really overwhelmed. Never in our wildest dreams did we think we would achieve this, but we have, and so we're very grateful for that. But of course, with the number of teams growing, it means that we need more volunteers at all the events. And if I say we are chock-a-block, in most of our regionals, we're hosting additional regionals as celebration events from January to June next year as well, to allow teams who really want to participate in this challenge, the Masterpiece, to allow them an opportunity. So we're busy shipping in 15 new challenge sets, and it's good. But on that, we're also really impressed with the number of new volunteers entering into the system. And it takes a while. It takes a while to kind of get used to this, but it becomes like a FOMO thing. So once you're in it, you're like really scared of missing out. And so if you're a new judge or a new referee or a new volunteer, really welcome in our midst. We look forward to a long journey with you. And you can always say, actually, you started the journey with Masterpiece season, and so you'll always refer to that. So we've also just come now to the third session, which is really the refereeing, and you can volunteer as a referee. I just think the refereeing is kind of it's where you test and where you have direct interaction with learners. And so I just want to say up front, we as the volunteer coordinators and First SA take it very seriously that you as the if you're going to volunteer as a referee, will not get confronted by parents and or coaches, because you as the referee have a agreement between you and the team that you're refereeing, but you have to know your rules. And so that's where this conversation is going to go to today. So let me start and share my screen, and then let's just go through kind of just a broad outline of where we are. For those who it's your first session with us, you are very welcome. So I just want to go, you've probably heard most of this if you've been in both sessions, previous sessions, but just to kind of say where we are for this session on refereeing. Okay, so just up front, we have our 28th of October is our largest regional First Lego League competition in Gauteng Central. But it looks like Gauteng South is catching up very quickly, which is just awesome. And our regional competition starts in 2 weeks' time on the 14th of October in Limpopo. So it's Limpopo and KZN together, head to head. And then from then on, every weekend, we've got something happening. Okay, so if you're going to volunteer, and I'm glad Moritz has now volunteered, is on our list, but there is the link to sign up as a volunteer, and you can choose anything where you would like to sign up in. If you are not comfortable with the role that you are allocated, you are more than welcome to contact Diana. I see Diana is in the meeting, and chat to her and say you'd rather try something else, but you are very welcome. All right, so this is really not the training. This is purely information sharing, and we would encourage you to sign up. And a good thing is to keep, to get somebody else with you. There are training materials once you volunteer and you're allocated a role within a regional competition. You will be given a specific role. You'll be given training materials. There's a support community, and we will have several of these online sessions where you can discuss and talk to. And the more you volunteer, the more you're going to grow, and that's guaranteed. All right. So in most of our regional competitions, we have Explore and we have Challenge teams. So the Discovered teams are really hosted at the schools because it's the grade R, so the Little League. The explores are the grades 1, 2, and 3. They have models, they have programs, and they have research. And for that, we're also looking for volunteers to kind of review their projects. Then when it comes to challenge, that's our grades 4 to 10, you've got the robot design and the programming and the game strategy and the innovation project and the teamwork. What is required of these teams, however, is they have to have a robot run to score the most points in as few seconds, maximum 150 seconds. So it's really about a strategy. And so you, as if you're going to referee, that's where you will be at the table, usually on the stage, and each team gets their time to come up. All right. So the theme for this year, Masterpiece, it's about lights, camera, and steam or action. And it's all about showing a hobby or an interest and using science and technology to share your experience. Okay, so all the details are there. This is the First Inspires website. You will find all your information, and particularly here on the challenge season materials. That's where you're going to go and look. All right, this is the challenge mat for this year. It is hysterically colorful, and I'll show you just now. All these little models are so cool. If we can figure out how they actually work, it'll be even better. But I think so. I'll figure it out. No. Okay. So and so the teams have then built these mission models. They've built the mission models according to the building instructions, and you'll see this one. It's up the top here. No, it's not. It's this one here. It's this one over here. And what it must do, those are the missions, and those are the things that the robot's going to then do, and you as the referee are going to referee. Okay. So just to come back into context, it's all about camera action, showcasing, and performing, and using stage lights and music and digital media. But the Discover learners, they've got a Discover set. This is also with performing, and they can design the backdrops. The grades 1, 2, and 3 have got this beautiful stage, and they've got to turn the singer, and the lights go on, and it's really cute. All right, so for today, we're going to do the refereeing of a robot match. All right, so I'm going to say it again. And why volunteer? Because it's a way of giving back. It's a way of encouraging our learners. It's a way of having some opportunity to engage with our future. All right, these are the kids that are going to survive and thrive in the years to come. You'll see up here on the stage, there are the robot run scores. Very stressful, very stressful. It is the ZK Matthews like you've never seen it before, and I'll show you a little video at the end, like you've never heard it before. At this competition, there were 2 sets of double tables. For our competition at the end of October, we're going to have 3 sets of double tables, so we're going to have 6 robot runs running in parallel. And we have an MC who knows what he's doing, and Freedom will kind of direct everybody, and we will have a hectic day. Okay, so of all the volunteers that we have, the refereeing the robot matches, I've kind of put it up here as first. This is what we're going to do, the refereeing of the robot match. Let me just go back here. You're going to be up on the stage. Your team members are going to talk to you, so you'll need to score their robot match. And I also would like to just add, you've got to be as friendly and as fun as possible. So we usually wear funny hats, or we all have really colorful t-shirts. But it's important for many learners. It is very stressful to come up on stage and kind of hope that the robot is going to behave. You might also need to deal with robots that don't work. You will definitely encourage or encounter teams that are not always so happy. Okay. All the judging rubrics you can download there, and also the score sheet. I just want to put a PS on this one, though. We are going to try out a brand new app that we have, a scoring app, which some of our volunteers are busy developing. And so we're going to try it out on the 28th of October. Yeah, so you probably have, I don't know whether all regionals will have it by the time they finish testing, but the idea is to have it on a tablet. And so you will, with your stylus, you will just pick, accomplished, not accomplished, and then ting, 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 and then the points go choo-choo automatically through. And we are kind of hoping that UNISA's Wi-Fi is going to hold out for the day. Okay. So if you're going to look for what are the rules of the robot match, and so they are, there's the robot game rule book, and I've actually I didn't print it. It has been printed, but I have a copy of it. Let me just show you. Compliments of Linda. So there's my game rule book, and so all the rules of how you score a match you will need to know. Okay. So the judging and the refereeing. For the judging, this is the flow. You know, the judging, you've got 5 minutes, and then you look at the project, and then you look at the robot design, and there's core values and the feedback, and there's a discussion. Now, when you referee, it's a little bit quicker. All right, the team comes on, the timer goes 3, 2, 1, and we go Lego. Then you have 150 seconds, and you have to watch. You have to watch the whole team, and they've got 2 launch areas. You have to watch it, and by the time it's finished, you have to score. And then they go off. But just know that we have 48 teams, and each team plays 4 matches, a practice round and 3 matches. So 48 times 4 is 192 robot matches. So it's refereeing A, it's quick, and B, you do have to know your rules if you're a referee. All right. It's not as put out like this as the judging sessions. Okay. The match, there's 1 practice round and 3 real matches. This is the launch area, and this is the launch area. And so you have 2 groups in one team, 2 groups of learners, and they will then make the robot move from one place to the other and score game points as they go along. And I'm going to now, I think I'm going to, let me finish this presentation, because I've got, I think I've got at least 3 referees in the group who are going to kind of answer your questions. Let me just quickly, oh, okay. So I'll do the, let's rather just stop it there. I will get back to my presentation just now. I want to first open it up. All right, so we've got with us who have already refereed before. I think Clifford, behind Clifford, Dylan is on his own. So Dylan's here. Sylvia is here, and Casper. Have I missed any referees with experience yet? No. All right. So maybe I'm not going to put you on the spot, but maybe I'll just give you a moment, just from your perspective. What is refereeing about? And let's go in order of age. So Sylvia, you're up first. If you would like to give just maybe 2 or 3 sentences of who would you encourage to become referees in robot matches, and maybe your 2 cents of experience.
Okay, sure. You didn't say whether I was youngest or oldest, so I'll leave that up to everybody else to interpret.
You've been doing FLL the longest. How's that?
But yeah, no, most experienced too. But, well, arguable. Dylan's right there with me. Anyways, one big thing about a referee is you're going to be paying attention the entire day, and you're going to be on your feet the entire day. It is exhausting. It is also a lot of fun. You do have to be very encouraging to the kids, because they've worked months and months and months on these programs, and sometimes the robots just don't want to behave. There are ways around it, but you do have to be prepared for tears and fights, and know when to talk, and when to talk during the match, and when to talk to them after the match. Generally, with your first time refereeing, you won't ref alone. And then there's always a head ref that if you're not sure about something, you can go ask them any questions. Most importantly, you do need to know the rules, and if you can, it would be very useful if you look at how the mission models are built, because a lot of them are going to break, and then we need to sort of be able to put them back together very quickly, or we need to replace them as fast as possible. I can't think of anything at the moment. Maybe Casper can take it.
Yeah, I can just also say, just read the rulebook, and the referee will go through everything with you. And if you are the referee and you don't know anything, you don't you're stumped by the question or the rules are unclear, then you can ask the head ref. And also the children have to do they have to tell you everything that they want to ask or query, not the coaches, if not mistaken, Dr. Gous.
No coaches are allowed to interfere with the process. You as the referee, you deal directly with the team. And if there's any queries, you query it through the head referee. There are no parental interference at all.
Yeah,
it's like playing rugby. The coach can't do anything in the box. Only the players on the field may interact with the ref.
Yeah,
correct.
Just to add to that, no video evidence or photo evidence can be used for scoring. So if anybody wants to argue with you and they've got video proof, it doesn't count. But that the head referee will usually care of. The head referee is, I want to say there to fight our fights, but that sounds a bit terrible. It's usually just, he is there to mediate any questions, conflicts, because the head referee normally lives, breathes, and sleeps the rules and the updates.
Cool. Thank you so much. Dylan, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I think everyone covered nicely what it is to be a ref. I'd say the main thing to focus is being at the table, being experienced as someone, as a team, and as a ref. It is the most chaotic session, I would say, for the teams, because the robots don't always do what we plan for them to do. So yeah, keeping the kids calm before a match or during a match, that is a key aspect that you should look for. Sometimes the stress gets a little bit too much for them, and then they start making bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger mistakes. It's just kind of to remind them that if something does go wrong, it's all right. Take a breath and continue on. Try again. There's no point in arguing about it, saying something did wrong. Just continue and do your best. Yeah, knowing the rules is good. A good aspect that gives the team confidence in you, so that they'll be able to trust you. I have had some experience with some adults coming to ask me questions about particular things. So they might come and ask you about a particular rule, but if they are arguing a point, that is where you have to tell them to step back. That's where the team needs to do it. But they can come to you and ask questions like, oh, when would they be playing? Or if this situation happens, what could the team do? Something like that. So you don't want to just completely neglect the adults. You do want to kind of assist them as well when they're a bit confused. Yeah.
Just to add to that, normally the referees are the alumni from the competitions. So we have been there, we've done that, we've had everything go wrong and everything go right. So sometimes the coaches will come looking for that experience, and obviously that's us. But like Dylan said, you help them with the general stuff, and when it comes to the arguments, that's when you direct them to the head coach. But normal conversation, yeah.
And one important thing on it, no violence.
Absolutely not.
Towards the team members, coaches, and or robots. The robots get a bit of a again.
I just want to add what Dylan said about adults coming and ask the referee some questions. A lot of times referees can actually just refer the adults to the head referee, especially if you kind of see that this person actually wants to argue, and then you rather as a referee just refer them to the head referee.
Absolutely. And there's always, at every event, there must be a head referee, for sure. Yeah.
A second.
Anne-Marie?
Firstly, wear comfortable shoes. You are standing on your feet the whole day, and the only break you have is when you go for lunch, and even then people stop you along the way. So wear comfortable shoes.
Definitely.
Especially something that has support for you. Especially if
Yes.
you weak ankles, then you get, for example, for men, try boots that are supportive on the ankles, I will say.
And then another thing is watch out for kids bumping the table, because that have caused issues in the past. And if the kids are standing too close, just say, just move away, please. Only the one that operates the robot can be at the table.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also just onto that, Almarie, with them, you've got to watch the learners that they don't interfere. But also, and I've noticed quite a couple of times, learners don't understand the rules. And I know I've watched the first practice round, which is really very important. And then the judges are there, or the referees are there to help the learners understand that they've misunderstood one of the rules. And so often, after your practice round, your referees will go and say, but this you did wrong, and please correct it before round number one. And so it gives the teams just a chance to fix and maybe get some more points because they have misread the rules. And also what Dylan says is, if you've been on both ends of the scale, you've been as a team member and now as a referee, you have a lot of empathy with the team members as well. Yes, Almarie.
Sorry, just one other point. Remember, one of the things that's being judged at the table is not just a robot, but also your core values. So yes, please see how the kids interact with each other and how they interact with other teams, because that is being judged from last year or from the last season onwards.
Yes, absolutely correct. Because just as a background to that, what Almarie is saying, she is the core values judge, so she gets a pristine, lovely, organized team, and so we call them Team X. And then when she goes to the judges' deliberations, the referee will come and say, "Oh, Team X, they are so rude and they don't talk nicely to each other." And so there's feedback, and so we call them undercover, but it's really about having a whole team that can perform well as a team and like each other as a team, even as Dylan says, when the robot doesn't behave or when something doesn't quite go right, or it is really stressful for all the team members. But we want a team that can work together no matter what. And I have a team that laughed at themselves when they realized they put wires in the wrong ports. That is teamwork. That is teamwork where there's no blame, but they can face what happened in their practice rounds and get on with the match and then go on to win greatness. So that's really cool.
Maybe another example like that, Patricia. Last year at one of the events, of the regional events, we had a team where the robot just didn't want to perform in one of the rounds at all. And let's say the head programmer who was running with the program at that point in time was in tears, literally, because it didn't want to run. And his whole team just supported him, took him out, calmed him down, and actually supported him through that. And that showed core values.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's no time to start blaming each other. We're one team. We're one. Absolutely. Yeah. Sylvia, you want to add?
Sorry, yes. On the note of the core values, there is a description of how we rank the core values with the robot game. It isn't just laughing at the team laughing when something goes wrong. There are actually little things to go off of. But also, if there's anything that goes, I want to say severely wrong, like if you notice the coach, I want to say sort of directing the children what to do, and the kids have no idea what's happening. Reports like that, we need to make note of and then pass along to the core values judges. That does not get marked on the score sheet because the score sheets go back to the teams sometimes. Also, there might be teams that want to take pictures of the score sheets. That's totally fine. On the score sheets we use, there are no points either. So if the kids come to you asking for like what's the actual score, you can tell them to go check with the scorekeeper in 5 minutes. it's not an issue. Another thing, the teams are not allowed to have their robots Bluetooth on during the game. With the Spike, that requires a full reset, but it turns off and on very quickly. And the EV3, you go into the little menu and turn your Bluetooth off. Another thing is they're not allowed to bring their laptops or their tablets to the table. No. If they do have it, you tell the coach to take it and go sit down or take it back to the pit or something, but they're not allowed to actively be programming in the pit area table or in the at the game.
Sylvia, on that, all coaches have been banned from touching the laptop and or the robot. Yeah. No judge, no coach may carry a laptop or a robot at all, or touch a robot, because we've had permutations of that. So yeah.
Well, I just said hand it to the coach to go sit down, but okay.
You can give it. Yeah. No.
Another thing is, if you are a robot game referee, again, you need to be very awake during the whole day. That board becomes your baby. All the pieces that are on it are your responsibility. And so every time a team comes there, it needs to be set up correctly. Every time a team leaves, you need to make sure they leave your stuff on the table. It is something that comes a little bit better with practice, but it is very intense.
Yeah.
So
but fun.
But fun. Just be prepared for like a lot of very random things. The other thing is, again, we're very, very nice people. So you celebrate with the team when something goes right, and when something goes wrong, remind them that it's just a practice round or they have another round. If you do know about the robot and the missions and the games, eventually you pick up things that maybe they missed a really easy mission, and it's like, oh, just program the robot to quickly drive across. I think last year it was the dinosaur mission. It was like really easy to tell the kids, just drive the robot across the dinosaur on it.
Yeah.
Really, really easy. I don't know if there are any like that. I think that's mostly it. On the day of the competition, generally the referees will get together and have a meeting so that everybody's all on the same page regarding like the core values decisions and what's fair, what's unfair. Things like mission models coming loose, mission models breaking. That is all handled on the day at the competitions. We have more questions, more hands. 2 from Casper. That's a bit odd.
Absolutely. I think that's important that if you're a referee, you need to be there really early and preferably at least an hour before the time so that you can with the other referees so that you can be consistent in your refereeing decisions.
Yes, I would like to point out it's the same for the judges. If you're volunteering for one of the big 4 roles, you need to be early so that everybody gets put on the same page.
Absolutely. To do justice to all the teams. Absolutely.
Yes, we need to be fair, very, very fair. And if the refereeing is different from table A to table B, we hear about it and then it makes the kids unhappy, it makes the coaches unhappy, it makes the head referee very unhappy.
Very.
But yeah.
Okay. Mariska, you want to add?
Yes, something about the robot design that the referees need to look out for is teams can only have 4 sensors on the robot. And
nope, that's 4 motors. Sensors is unlimited. Sorry.
Okay, sorry, yeah, so motors.
Yeah, 4 motors.
But the referees also need then to look out if teams are swapping the attachments, that they don't bring an attachment with a 5th motor, so that, because it's not allowed to have more than 4 motors.
That includes bringing a whole backup robot. Backup robot stays in the pit.
Yeah, and then the referees must also check if the robot is in size. There is in the robot game rule book, there is specific sizes, and then the referees also need to check when teams do their robot runs, that when they go out for a run, when they start with a robot run, the whole of the robot must be in the launch area.
Correct.
Nothing like a part of the attachments or anything like that can be over that quarter line of the launch area. And the same kind of thing is when the teams get their robot back to the home area. And home area includes a launch area plus that extra part that is at the side of the mat. The referees need to make sure that the team's robots are totally in. Otherwise, they will lose some penalties for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you've got to be consistent about that as well, about measuring the size of your robot. Absolutely. Totally agree. Casper.
Yes, Dr. Gous. So I just want to add one more thing. If you are judging for the robot game, always go to your FLL once a week at least. And when the competition comes around about twice a week, because we need to go and look on the challenge updates, because there are updates to some of the missions. So if I just go now, there are not yet as many updates. The only updates on the missions is one, the score sheet for mission 13, but that is not going to be, so it was just a spelling mistake for it. And then also two, the destination of it for mission 14. Those were the only two updates, and these on the score sheet. And then these two that are applicable to us as referees are, the camera must be in this area here to be more, it was just to define it more. And also the rolling camera, there was problems with the instructions, but I don't think, so that's the only 4 updates so far. So the last update was on August 2022 of this year.
Okay. Well, that's a good sign. Or maybe they haven't started playing their regionals yet.
And also, just like Sylvia just said, as you guys saw, the score sheet, there is no numbers on it, so you won't be. You can try and calculate it, but rather let the scorekeepers go and calculate it for you.
Yep.
Yes.
There we go.
So those are my only 2 cents.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Linda.
Hello. I just want to add to what Mariska said, something else to look out for, because we had a situation last year. No non-Lego parts on the robot. Last year, one of the teams struggled with the light and with their sensors, and they just stuck pieces of paper in to cover the sensors. So also just something to look out for.
Yep. And absolutely. Yes, and I think, sorry, Sylvia, you were going to say?
No, I was going to say, and that team got told off for doing it. So they took it off for that round and then put it back. So any information like that needs to be shared between the referees as well, so that we can keep an eye on that. I think the robot with the 5 motors was also flagged. And so every time that team came to a table, we rechecked. Also, if you ever question anything that is on the robot, just remember the rounds don't start automatically. The MC does check in and the time starts, so we can handle any queries and stuff before the game starts. Do not let them play. If you're uncertain about something, find out from the head ref first and then do the match. Okay, sorry.
Awesome. Sure, that's a lot of information sharing. I really thank you. Maybe just as a background, Linda has coached teams, Mariska's coached teams, Casper has refereed and was the technical judge. Sylvia's been on teams and she's refereed. And Dylan has been on a team and refereed. Moritz, your hand is up.
Yes. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Listen, I'm a bit intimidated now. What I'm looking for is the equivalent of all the places to keep myself updated as to whatever changes for my part of the game. My part of the game most probably being the judging of 4th to 10th graders. I would prefer for their programming.
Okay.
So I need to know what I need to look at, because it seems that hasn't been really discussed it in detail. Okay, you did discuss it a bit last week, but not so much that there would be a web page where I needed to check what has changed, etc. Okay.
So Moritz, I think the good start was to join a judging team that already has a technical judge with, and then maybe for the first event to join a team of technical judges. And then they will show you what robot designs work and which don't work. And I'm happy also to show you a couple of robot designs that work on a competition.
Sorry, will that be happening? Sorry, will that be happening at additional sessions like this, or in the morning of whenever we do that job?
Okay, I see I have a whole lot of volunteers here. Let's see. Marie, you want to say?
Moritz, there's a site in Facebook called FLL Challenge, Share and Learn. And I found that extremely valuable because they discuss the project, the core values, and robot design and issues with programming on that. So it's very relevant to the season, but you also see what others have done to resolve issues. Then to your question on will there be discussions on the day? Yes, in the morning you do have a coaches briefing where the coaches align on what will be judged and how it will be judged. During your lunch break and tea breaks, you can actually go and sit with judges from the other rooms who have judged in the robot design to align with them of what you've seen and what you've heard to make sure that you keep on track with what you are doing. And similarly, at the end of the day, during the deliberation session, you will have a similar opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, I have done this before, but it's a long time ago. The time of Chiti Setati, if you can remember, Patricia.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
But that was, of course, a totally different setup, I assume. I mean, it's in principle the same thing.
Same thing. So, yeah, but Moritz, I'm happy to have a robot design session with you. I'll talk to Diana. She has the names of all the technical judges, and we'll have a session for all technical judges.
Good, that will be good. They can have the session. I mean, one of those sessions like now, just to go into that detail. Then I feel more comfortable. Okay.
With pleasure.
Okay.
With pleasure. I will make a note and I'll let you know when we're having the session.
Good. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
And Dr.
Is that the end?
Yeah, and Dr. Gers, I can even help with the judging with, you can judge with me maybe the technical judging.
That would be awesome. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. All right, so we've solved that problem. Sylvia, you want to add?
Just pointing out that there are emails that do go out to all the volunteers with more links in it and more training links in it. We do have a little video that Colleen made for us that goes over the rubrics and goes through each line and sort of how to go about it. That is very useful, as well as all the links to all the sites, all the useful things. That email has not gone out yet, but it usually does go out at least 2 weeks before the competition.
Awesome. Thank you for that update, Sylvia. Thank you very much.
I'm busy with the document, and I will send it out as soon as I have it ready.
Appreciate it, Diana. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Oliver King, you have a question?
Hi.
Hi.
Yes, I have a question. So I am not registered. I'm not registered as a volunteer yet, right? But I will be attending on the 28th.
You want to be a
But then
volunteer?
I'm not sure when I get to the event, where do I fall? But
So
I just
do you want to volunteer?
should I just?
Do you want to volunteer?
I would like to. Yes.
All right, then you need to go onto the firstsa.org website, and then you will sign up as a volunteer.
All right. When I get to the website, right, it just I only see at the end there where it says I should contact Joseph in regards to participating.
Nope, that's not the right website.
No.
It's not the right website.
I don't know. It's Johannes, maybe, that you're reading.
I'll send you the link to register as a volunteer. I know Freedom got you involved, so it might be good to actually start the same route as Freedom. He started with core values judging, and then he went into project and robot design. You will be fortunate in a sense that in judging, you have all 3 sets happening in the same room. So you learn about everything. But knowing Freedom, you will be an awesome core values judge.
Oh, thank you.
How do you have all this inside information, Elmarie?
I invited her.
Okay, Oliver King, Elmarie will sort you out. You've got a friend in the company. Well done.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome. Awesome. Okay, right. That resolved. Respect, you've got your hand up.
Oh no, I just wanted to say I also had someone who wanted to volunteer, but they could not register on the website. So it is not working at all. It just shows a list of everyone who's volunteering.
Oh, don't click through to the last little pop out. Click on the one that says volunteer registration.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Can I quickly come in there?
Yes.
Casper solved that problem for me. Ask Casper. He gave me the link that is guaranteed to work because I had the same problem. The website is broken.
All right, thank you.
We've mentioned it to the website boss, and he's in the process of fixing it.
Thank you, Casper. Okay, there we go. We've got the solution. Koliswa, Nico, your hand is up.
Yes, good evening, Dr. Host. I completed the form, I think, a week or 2 ago. I didn't get any confirmation, so do I need to be worried? Is everything okay?
For which event did you volunteer, Koliswa?
To be a judge.
For which event?
For the Gauteng one.
Oh, the 28th of October.
Yes, for Gauteng.
Okay. So Diana's in the meeting. She will check for you and she'll send you an email in the morning. Is that okay?
Okay, no, that's fine.
All right.
Thank you.
We're still very busy sorting out the volunteer lists, but we will get back to you as soon as possible. If you did fill in the form, that's where that other little menu comes in. If you click on the little pop-up menu that just shows you the list of names, that shows you what you're registered for. If you want to check that you are on the list somewhere.
Okay. Thank you, Sonia.
That list doesn't work at the moment. It still shows last year's volunteers.
No,
okay,
it's
can you
been
just
changed.
just check for Koliswa and just send her a confirmation then, please. Okay. Awesome. All right, and our time is over. You know, so much for a 30-minute introduction and information, but this is good that we talk, and we will get through it together. Our focus is to develop a new core, a larger core of volunteers, because we do have more regionals coming up and more teams. So it's kind of the one requires the other. The more teams we have, the more volunteers we need. And so it's really cool. So for all of you who already volunteered, thank you. For those who contributed this evening, thank you very much. Your expertise in refereeing definitely comes through. And we are very grateful to have people with experience on our team. And we also really welcome all new members to our team so that we can start developing each other and do some capacity building. All right. So on that happy note, whether you've decided to judge or to referee or to challenge or to do explore, whatever your role, you find your role, it's not cast in concrete. You can do 1 year refereeing, and next year maybe you want to try out judging. You are also welcome to do that. But just know that you're very welcome as part of this team, and the more hands make for more teams. And so that is our focus, so that more learners in South Africa can have the opportunity to participate in a first Lego League competition. All right. Thank you, everybody. Amidst the thunderstorm outside and all the rain that is falling, thank you very, very much for being with us. For those who are watching the recording, thank you very, very, very much. And if there's no more hands up, I want to close the meeting and say thank you very much. Have a peaceful evening, and we'll see each other as soon as possible. Diana will send you emails, and I will let you know when we have any additional sessions as well, and you're welcome to attend. All right. Thank you, everybody. Elmarie, you're unmuted. Do you want to add?
No, apologies. I just rejoined and it automatically unmuted.
It's fine, but it's good to hear your voice. Thank you, Elmarie. And thank you to everybody who's been in the session. Thank you for all your inputs. And we'll see each other again then soon. All right. Good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Night, night.